Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you all. And if you are not yet online, I am inviting you to come online so we can have a business conversation today. And the business conversation today will really be important for you and for me for our businesses. And today we are talking with a businessman at diaspora and returning. You did not just want to miss this conversation today. Share the link with your friend, ladies and gentlemen. Invite your friends, invite your brothers, invite the business guys, and invite all of our entrepreneurs, especially those ones who are in Africa and want to do business and having it difficult. You're welcome today. I welcome you today to our business conversation with our businessman of the week, Mr. Peter Eselecha. And he is a dynamic man. He will be talking about himself in a few seconds. But before I get to invite him to come on the platform, I want to remind you, do not forget our business masters class is coming up. That's going to be from the 17th to the 22nd of August. If you have not yet signed up, make sure you do, because he is also going to be part of the trainees and the coach to coach young people. So you don't want to miss this opportunity. So get online and sign on for our business masters class that's taking place in August. And please, you can register at academy.sompon-socialservice.org. You're welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and we want to welcome on board now our businessman of the week, Mr. Elvis Akwong. Mr. Elvis, or Peter, pardon, Mr. Peter Akwong, you're welcome to our platform today. How are you, sir?
I'm doing beautiful. How are you doing today, Vera?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much. I have read a lot from you when I got your CV, some sort of CV. I was like, oh, this is a returnee. That's how we're going to call him. And he has been a diaspora. And so I was so excited about the conversation today because I know many people are dreaming to come to Europe, and you have been in America, especially America, that many people want to be in, and you decided to go back home. What could be the motivation, Peter?
Um, I First of all, as I said, my name is Peter Eselecha, and I am a returnee from the United States. I was based in Texas, and that's where I started my college education. Later, I moved to New Mexico and did my bachelor's in finance. And my first company I worked for was Enterprise Holdings, where I worked in a management role and also did some marketing and sales. At heart, I've always been an entrepreneur. That's what I always wanted to do. I
Mhm,
grew up having a dad who ran a company, a publishing house, and
mhm.
um, and this company is more than 30 years old today. Cosmos Educational Press, and that's a company I work for right now. My interest for coming back home has was solely to place myself in a position where I can make an impact, place myself in a position where um, I can use the resources, the experience, and everything I've learned from the United States to be able to
Mhm,
make a difference in our society and make an
mhm,
improvement in our society as well.
mhm. Thank you so much. Today we're going to come back to that conversation on impact and entrepreneurship and all that. But today I want to give you some few minutes. You have 15 minutes to present who you are, and you're going to be talking today on marketing and sales. We said discover how to make more sales and improve your business. Peter, this is your platform, and you're welcome again.
Thank you. Yeah. As I said, my name is Peter Eselecha, and I have been lived the past, I would say, 10 years in the United States. Um, when I moved to the US, my sole focus was one thing: learn as much as I can about business and that's always what I wanted to do because I saw firsthand how much of an impact that can make, not only for yourself but the legacy of for yourself and family. I I'm from a business background. My parents, my dad especially started a publishing house, publishing company, Cosmos Educational Press, some 30 years ago. And today I happen to be managing that company. Cosmos Educational Press is based in Cameroon and Ghana, and we're expanding in other parts of Africa as we speak. My sole drive to come back to Cameroon has solely been how much of an impact I felt I could make in my country. I thought I'd learned a lot, studied finance, worked for some really good companies back there in the US, and gained so much experience during that span of time. I've started some businesses as well on my own. I think my first company I did launch was a logistic company, and its name was almost very similar to the company I work with right now. It's called Cosmos Logistics, and I was running that business. And somewhere in between, there was a need for a new GM for the company I work for right now, Cosmos Educational Press, and I was teamed up. And I thought timing was just perfect for me to come back and try to make an impact. I've been in Cameroon right now since 2017. I've been working back and forth because I have my beautiful family, my beautiful kids back there in the US that I have to go from time to time to go see. So I have been working, yeah, since 2017, managing the company here and coordinating the company in Ghana. In Ghana, we have a publishing house as well, and we do bottled water. We have a bottled water factory, and we also do biofertilizers. So that's a little bit about myself, and that's a little bit about what I do. I feel ongoing into this conversation, there are a lot more things that you'll get to know about me, and I'll get to be able to have that conversation with you as well. I think our conversation today is focused solely on marketing and sales, and I would love to share with you as much as I've learned, as much as I've experienced in that sector and that throughout the course of my career. Um, I believe this is very important because um, as a business owner, sales is kind of like, the lifeline of your business. I had a question. I was in a strategic management class towards the end of my degree program. And I had this professor by the name of Bill Taylor, and he asked us in class how many people could make a burger better than McDonald's. And everyone seemed to put their hand up. And the first question he asked is, well, how come you're not able to make money as much as McDonald's? Because what's important is not how beautiful or how good your product is. The most important thing is how many people your product is going to be able to make an impact in their lives, and how many people your product is going to be able to touch, how many people your service is going to be able to reach to. Because the amount of people that you're able to touch, that can be converted to dollars, and that's when you begin to see or yield some profit for your hard work for your business.
So I
Yes.
thank you, Peter. Okay, he's having a difficulty with the connection. That's the challenge we have when we are also networking with our partners from different parts of Africa. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking on business and we're having a business conversation and hoping that Peter is on again. Thank you, Peter, for coming back.
Yeah, yeah. Yes.
Exactly.
Sorry.
I'm happy that you're back. And you said something in your presentation. I like the fact that you're a diaspora. I like the fact that you're returning. I like the fact that you're building upon what your dad already built. And you said that having a business is like having a legacy, so you're building upon. And you said something before the connection was bad. You said the most important is not the what the how far you're packaging and all that. It is how many people you're able to reach with your product, with your services. And that takes me to the very first question: how do we reach the people that we want to reach? Are there any techniques on sales to reach this kind of people that we want to reach?
Yeah, I believe I, every sale begins with some background knowledge of the industry in which you're going to be participating in. And that background knowledge can only be gotten through research. Through research, you're going to be able to understand your market, you're going to be able to understand your clients. And I think there is always an edge in the person that can understand his clients the most. Hence, the reason why we have social media today, the reason why we're using business analytics today as much, because all this intelligence that we put in trying to use today is for one sole reason: to understand our market and to understand our clients. So the person that's able to understand the clients knows how better to reach their clients through either social media, sometimes even starting off a business as a young entrepreneur. You might not have that social media presence yet, but just simple word of mouth, peer to peer, telling people about your business, getting as much exposure as possible. And all of that, at the end of the day would, relate to sales for you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Peter. We are having this now, a viewer, Lisa Olo. She's watching all the way from Kenya, and she says that a product should touch and reach people. That's what you said. And she says, I'm looking forward to this point being explained further. Maybe you want to answer her to explain this point further so that she can understand what you meant.
Um, I believe when I say a product is should be able to reach people, I believe there should be a purpose for every product. When I say background search, it's about your product itself and the product that exists in the market. I believe for me personally, when I try to create anything, when I try to do anything, I want to first of all see what has been done and what uh, what impact can I make? How different can I, make my product? How better can I make my product? What problem is there that has not been solved? Because you're not just creating a product, you're creating some way to enhance people's life. If it's food, maybe you're trying to make it a little bit more healthier for them. If it's a service, maybe you're trying to, simplify the process, maybe less waiting time or whatever to make an impact in people's lives. So that's a way that you can be able to, touch people through your
Mhm.
business. And if you're able to nail that, I promise you, you're going to be able to reach a lot more people, and that will convert to money. I always also personally feel the way I go about sales is putting myself in the position of the client. I always ask
Mhm.
myself, um, if I was the client, what would I be in need of? Why would I need this product? I'm
Mhm.
in the sector of education, and we are solely focused on educational material like textbooks. And it's very
Mhm.
tricky because um, our end user are students, sometimes kids
Mhm.
at the age of 2, 3 years old, but our buyer, our parents were about, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years old. So our end
Mhm.
user is very different from our clients. So, but we
Mhm.
still, as a company, have to understand that who are end users, because that's who we're
Mhm.
trying to serve. We're not trying to serve the parents who are buying, but we are trying to
Mhm.
enhance or simplify the process of these kids who are very young and have no control of what your textbook might look like. So we're trying to
Mhm.
simplify and make it easier for them to understand and, have a better teaching experience for them or learning experience for them. So
Mhm.
it's more about understanding your clients and finding out how to reach them properly
Mhm. Wow,
and
amazing
solving whatever problem.
conversation.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah.
We are having also another listener who is say, Charity, you're welcome. And Charity is watching from Germany. I know some of those who are always here. And Charity say, I would love to turn my books into a business. How can that be possible? Do you think it's possible and make sales out of that?
Yeah. Depending on the book, I think, a book is a bundle of knowledge, you're trying to put out, and there's always need for more knowledge. Presently I'm back in school, and I'm taking my master's in Masters of Science in Organizational Leadership. And I went back to school solely because I'm trying to seek new knowledge. I'm trying to be better at what I do and everything. So whenever you put in a book together, um, there's always a need for that. Now, how do you reach your clients? As I said, is going to go back to the topic of your book, what you're talking about, and you try to use different techniques to maybe find out who your niche clients would be and find a better way to reach them. Um, and there are different ways that you can do that. Um, through different search engines, depending on the topic. You can use search engines to find out, okay, if it's a book that's talking about maybe food, you want to go through different website platforms where maybe they're selling food or they're talking about stuff like that, to maybe try to advertise your book to reach those clients in that particular area.
Thank you so much. And I want to also say, Charity says, thanks. You are answering my question well. So she's already very happy. And a good listener is also another good customer. Is that so? Going from your principles, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we have also Irene watching all the way. Hello, Irene. You're welcome to our conversation. Irene also is a business lady who also have lots of businesses all over the world and doing her own talk shows to empower most Africans also to start up businesses back home. Thank you, Angie Blessing, for being here. You're welcome. And let me remind our listeners that you're going to be teaching us and coaching some of the students also during the master's class, and that's going to be on the from the 17th to the 22nd of August. So if you've not yet registered for the master's class, this is your platform, and please get to register, and so that we are going to be having this conversation again in August. Peter, I have a question for you. If selling is so important and if selling brings in much money, because I think that you can only have money if you sell more. So if selling is so important, what makes sales very difficult, and what does it take to sell better, apart from the explanation? But what makes it really difficult?
I think there's somewhat of sometimes a disconnect between the ability to create a good product and the ability to connect with people. I think
Mm-hmm.
sometimes a lot of inventors, a lot of people will create products, a lot of people will create services. They do a great job, creating that
Mm-hmm.
product or service. But that ability to connect with people or to pass the message across, that's where the disconnect
Mm-hmm.
comes from. And from my experience, the first biggest thing is the fear factor. As human beings, is just human nature that no one wants to be denied. As a salesperson, you take sometimes you know 100 calls a day, but
Mm-hmm.
you're very aware. Every salesperson is very aware that you've taken 100 calls. You might maybe convert maybe just 10% of that, and
Mm-hmm.
not too many people are very ready to get denied on, 90 times,
Mm-hmm.
especially when you haven't made a name for yourself yet. You
Yes.
have a new product, and people don't know about it, very well. It's just normal that, you're going to have a lot of people, say no to you. I think that fear factor, or that, uh, the fact that you're going to be denied on so many times,
Mm-hmm.
kind of discourage a lot of young entrepreneurs, discourage a lot of, young business people. And once you're able to overcome that, you can start, converting a lot of your sales to money.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And we are having um Osas owns a very big group. She has the Africans in Deutschland or in Germany group, and she says, "Yeah, you are right. I think marketing plays or helps a lot. What is marketing?"
Um, I think, with me, I'll say, marketing is the process of, you know, presenting value of your product to, or service, to your customers and clients. It's all about, uh, proving or showing as many people, as many clients as possible, the value that, your product, represents. So, that would be my definition for marketing.
Mhm. And if that's a definition for marketing, then my next question will be, what are the instruments you can use to improve your marketing, to add value?
There's so many, there's so many different. Today we have, more instruments than before, thanks to social media and thanks to the internet and thanks to
Mhm.
technology to reach our clients. The biggest one, would be social media for right now. You know, but I try not to, um, focus solely on social media, because whenever you start a business from day one, you're not online. You don't have a Facebook page, you don't have an
That's
Instagram page created and everything. So I think the basis of where you gain that confidence to, start trying to reach as many people as possible is, sometimes just peer to peer. You have peer to peer marketing. You start by, trying to, convert as many of your friends as possible into believers. And
mhm.
but again, you have to be very aware that just because they're your friends don't mean they're going to believe in your product.
I was
So
about
don't
to
let that
say that.
discourage you. So don't don't let that discourage you. But I mean, but you have to understand that's the first base around you. Those are the people around you. You want to at least start from there.
Mhm.
You
That's
can't
true.
skip, your community, your family, your
Mhm.
friends, and
Mhm.
then all of a sudden they see you on social media, and they're
That's
like,
it.
well, you never told us about
Mhm.
this product.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
Mhm.
yes. But I mean, if you were able to capture your family and friends around you, and when you're going on social media, starting off, you at least have a base you can work with.
That's
Some of them
true.
might not buy your product from day one, but they would give you likes, they would give you
Mhm.
recognition,
Mhm.
and that goes a long way to helping you.
Mm-hmm. Oh, thank you so
Yeah.
much. That was a very amazing one there with this family stuff. So I was just about to get in as some families are really difficult, but you're very right, right? And also, Stefania Iroa says again, you might have a very good product to sell, and you do not have a networking to market the product. My question: how do I get the right platform to market my product?
Can you repeat that question one more time? Let me see. You
So her
might have a
question
very good
is,
product to sell.
yeah, she's explaining first that you really might have a very good product to sell, and but you do not have the networking to market the product, right? So, and her question is, how can one get the right platform to market their product?
I believe getting the right platform, to market your product is, first of all, understanding what problem I feel like what problem your product is solving. For example, I would say if you have you know a product that maybe fix maybe skin acne or something like that, then
Mm-hmm.
you would want to start maybe following maybe people on social media that talk a lot about that that kind of problem,
Mm-hmm.
and finding a way to connect with them.
Mm-hmm.
I think the internet is a very broad, and when
Mm-hmm.
you are trying to market in that space, you have to kind of narrow or find your market in that space and try to reach them, and trying to reach your people on that social media or social networking or social platform is
Mm-hmm.
understanding where your people do gravitate to. If I'm trying to
Mm-hmm.
sell maybe basketball, I want to go to where uh, people where sports enthusiasts websites that they normally go to, and try to maybe see if I can put a hot button there for them to click on and buy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This takes me. I want to. This takes me to a very important question, but also a challenge that is going on amongst the community, the diasporas that I watch. I observe a lot at times, and now you said something. You said it is important to visit those people or the pages or the network with the people that do similar work with you, right now. But I'm
Yes.
observing, what I observe in the community is that actually those who do similar works tend to tear themselves apart instead of coming together to enforce their efforts and move forward. What could be the problem, and how can we solve this? Did you understand the
Um,
question?
no, can you repeat that? Yes,
Now,
sorry.
you said in your presentation when you were answering the
Mhm.
question of Ms. Osas, you said it is important to really network with the right people and the people doing similar works, right? So, like, I have a
Yeah,
social service institution. It is but normal that I network and I visit people having same offers so we can help one another.
work
But I have
together. Yes.
work together. But I observe in the community that it's rather bringing lots of frictions and lot of problems. How can we solve this problem? Instead of bringing it like a competition, helping these people to understand how important it is to really network and share these platforms together. I don't know if you got the question now.
No, I got the question, and that's a very good question. Thank you for that question, by the way.
Mhm.
I believe as a business owner, as a organizational leader, or whatever you're doing, at every given time, you have to consider yourself a salesperson. So don't only think sales when it's converting to dollars. If you are
Mhm.
trying to network with someone, you have to find a way to clearly articulate what it is you are trying to do. You have to present value to them. They
Mhm.
must understand that them working with you, these are the benefits they're going to enjoy from working with you. If you do not
Mhm.
do that, they clearly see you as some other competitor. So you must
Mhm.
always consider that every given time as a business owner, as an organizational leader, even if you were
Mhm.
just, out there helping people and you're not actually making money, but you always have to be in sales mode. You always have
Mhm.
to, sales mode means you always have to find a way to present value in what you're doing. And
Mhm.
you have to understand who you're talking to. If you're talking to a business partner, you must
Mhm.
understand, you must articulate to them what value your business or your system is going to bring to them. You see what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So if let's say I'm
Mhm.
selling I'm selling cups, and have
Mhm.
another person importing cups to the country. I want
Mhm.
to let them know, hey, if we both buying from China, if we both buying from maybe Kenya to
Mhm.
Cameroon, why
Mhm.
don't we come together and put our stuff in one container so it can save cost for both of us? On
Mm-hmm.
my calculation, this is how much we are saving. This is how much
Mm-hmm.
money that we are going to benefit from not spending more if we work together. So you have to always find a way to present value to
Mm-hmm.
whoever you're working with to be able to facilitate that process. Now,
Mm-hmm.
there are some people who are going to be difficult, and we do understand
Mm-hmm.
that, but
Mm-hmm.
you don't want to focus so much on that. There's still a good number of good people out there who would
Great.
understand and see value and would love to work with you.
That's true. That's true. You're very correct. And that is, I have seen a lot of people. We work with I have a social organization, and we work with a lot of other social institutions. And amazingly,
Yeah.
I always go to them with just my own part. And I tell them, I'm not a competitor. I have observed that you need this. I'm just presenting it so that we see how I can help you do the job that you're actually wanting to do. Right. And I don't want to do the job,
Mm.
all of the job. I just want to help you in this area. And usually they really take it well because from the beginning, you have articulated what you want. That goes well with the German institutions that I work with, but on the contrary, I observe and I work a lot with them. So when I get back to my community and I'm looking at the people doing similar work, and in my mind, I'm always saying, why did these two people not just come together and say, you know what, I you can do this is precisely, and I do this precisely, so that our task and our niche, like they say, is well clarified, so that we don't have to be doing the same, like if we're doing the same things but actually not doing the same thing, and this is the difficulty and the challenge that I see in the community. Maybe that's also the reason why we don't have any sales, and that's why we don't have any money, despite the long experiences we may be having in the market. What do you think, Peter? I see you're nodding your head the whole time. So tell me what you're thinking.
Yeah. Repeat your question one more time. Sorry.
Oh, so you were not even here. You were just nodding your head. Okay,
No,
let me.
no. The last second it disconnected. I think that the
I said,
internet a little bit
what do
slow,
you,
lagging.
what do
Hmm.
you, because you were nodding your head, I was explaining the fact that it's easy. I see a lot of people and they are working together. I mean, seemingly
Yeah.
looking the same product, right? So I am thinking within my head like a business person. If I am this person, I will just meet this person and give them this offer and hope that they also understand. Now, it's easier when I do that with a European community. But now, when I bring that back to the African community, I realized one thing. The first mindset that they are having is, what is she wanting to gain behind me? And this friction really distorts a lot of potentials amongst the business owners or groups owners, organization owners in the community. This cannot help us develop the continent that we are wanting to develop. So how can we help these people? In your own words, your own experiences, what are the tips you will give us?
I think, first of all, I think it's, we're in a different cultural setting when you come to Africa, and also the opportunities that present themselves here are not as much as the opportunities that you have in Europe, in America. Of course, in Africa we have plenty of opportunities available, but we haven't really tapped into or into a lot of those opportunities. We haven't really tapped into that. So whenever you come, first to Africa and you're trying to sell a product and you're trying to partner with someone, you have to understand this is their livelihood, you know, and they have maybe a set amount of money that they are coming with, getting a month or a year, and they're trying to as best as possible not to split that with you, because when you're bringing that to them, automatically they thinking, okay, well, you're trying to get maybe a piece of my clientele. You're trying to get a piece of, my daily bread and stuff like that. And I think, most importantly, whenever you're trying to make the speech, the sales pitch to them, or when you come to Africa, you're trying to talk to someone to do business with them, uh, you should make about 70% or 80% of your sales spiel or your pitch of wanting to do business with them about them. And it goes the same way with every other sale product you're trying to sell. Whatever you're trying to sell a product and you talk more about yourself, you turn off the person, the person you're trying to sell to. So if you're coming and you're trying to do business with them, if you haven't done proper research, if you haven't taken time to find a way to explain to them how it benefits them, then it would not work. So I think solving this problem, it's finding a way to connect with them first. Because sometimes there's also a disconnect because you've lived abroad for a long time. Probably the way you talk is not the way they're used to on a day-to-day basis. The culture is different. You've been abroad and you're able to connect more with European business people because they have a different kind of mindset. You have to put yourself in within the community, like a local person here, and find a way to connect with them. Once as you connect with them, even before like any business, on the person-to-person level, now they're a little bit more relaxed and a little bit more open to wanting to listen to you. There's a process in which we do business in the US. There's a process in which we do business in Europe. So when you come here, you have to find a way to transform, or how would I put it? You have to find a way to make that switch, to adjust
Oh, I like this.
your business practices to an African setting. And for example, in Cameroon, you're trying to talk business with someone, more than likely, it might start off by, taking them to a bar and giving them a beer, getting them relaxed. That's what they are used to. Not a lot of people would come and want to do business and would say, oh, let's go to Starbucks, let's go to a coffee shop and get coffee first, and start from there. And which is okay, there's no method is bad. It's just as a business person, you have to understand the setting in which you're in and operate within those dynamics. So once as you understand, like, how to get in and, get them comfortable, then try to present value, or let them know how much it is that they stand to benefit, from the business relationship. And I think, it will make a change.
Thank you so very much, Peter. And if after explaining they seem not to understand, then you've done your part, because I think that we have very hard partners and people who really don't want to understand anything. And I think it's also because of insecurity and fears, so they don't just want to give the try, right? I want to go back
Yeah.
to Irene talk show. Irene says that producing a scalable product begins with product, stroke market, and fit. Most often, we produce based on assumption. That was just a comment from Irene. Do you want to say something on that, or we pass over it?
Yeah, I think, producing a scalable product, I think to me, producing a scalable product would be producing a product of value. There are so many times that, due to maybe, something changes in our environment, maybe we want to create, like, there's a new product that came up, this face mask thing. Yeah, you can want to build a business and you start by building a face mask. We're going through a pandemic, but it might not last
Oh, I hope
5,
that
10
didn't.
years. So that might not be a great product to build a whole. You might have a short amount of time where you sell that.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we have
So
to really.
I hope that answers that
Mhm.
question. Yes.
Let's answer the question, and we take it takes me again to another question. Um, is it good to share your business ideas with friends to get more ideas, or keep it to yourself? That's us as the lady with a very big group also in Germany. She is in Germany and has a very big organization with group of different people there. And she's asking the question, is it a good what do you think, Peter? Is it good to share your business ideas with friends to get more ideas, or just keep your mouth shut?
You know, honestly, that's a tricky one. But I would definitely not, sleep on my bed, come up with a business idea, and go into execution mode without discussing it with anybody. Because at all times you need that, feedback. You need,
Mhm,
someone to maybe critique you a little bit, and that
mhm,
maybe helps you tailor your idea to somewhat
mhm,
of a much more evolved thing. That being
mhm.
said, you also have to know which people to reach out to. You want to reach out to your
Yes.
confidence. You want to reach out to the people really close to you. You don't want to meet, reach out to your business idea with, people you haven't known for so long, and I
Mhm,
think everybody, you have about two or three friends that you can really, really trust. And those are the ones that you want to bounce off that business idea with first, and make sure that they keep everything tight circle. Um,
mhm,
and then, wait for the response. But you also have to be open to the feedback you're going to get, because sometimes you might, give an idea, and someone tells you it's not a great idea. But if you truly, truly, believe that, whatever product or service you're about to do is one of value, then I think, you should go for it. If you believe in what you're doing, which you should go for it. Take the advice and
mhm,
everything, and use that to, motivate you to get into what you're trying to do.
mhm. Okay, thank you so much. And it takes us again to another question, Steve, from Osas. Osas is asking the question: do you think all partnerships should be written down? I mean, do we need to have written documents for every partner work?
Yeah, I believe in business. Whenever you're going into anything, any project, any partnership, it starts with, the foundation is, what you put on paper. The foundation is, the set of rules that you're going to operate by. Nothing's put on paper, it means you guys have no rules, and you don't understand what role who plays. So the partnership is not about just signing the paper, but it's understanding what each and every person in that partnership brings to the table. So it's
Yes.
very important that you have that, because from my experience in business, I don't care if I'm going to business with my dad or my mom or my wife. If I'm, we need something on paper. We
That's
definitely
true.
need something on paper to clearly find out. It's not just, written document. It's also, documentation that clearly that you can always go back to and say, partnership said this is what I had to bring. Am I doing that? And if your partner is not doing that, you can always have that document to show them.
That is very
Yeah. So
important.
that.
I That's very important. Just to confirm what you say, it's so important. I do business with my husband, and it was when I was at the notar to write down, and I was writing down everything and say you have to sign, I have to sign. And when I'm telling somebody, they are like, "Hey, but that's your husband," and I say, "Yes, I know." But this is business. At the end of the day, we need to have an accountability. We need to report. We have to say this and say that, and we have to say that based on this and that. So thank you so much for responding. I hope that, Osas, you got your response, and please make sure you back up yourself and your work with written documents. Thank you so much. And Peter, we are talking about marketing and sales, but the people are giving us and asking us questions from every direction. Let me take you back to marketing and sales. Now, we know that branding a product or service is also a way to help in marketing. How can a business owner or an entrepreneur brand their products or their services in order to improve their sales?
I think most important thing with branding to me comes with with integrity. A lot of times, people will brand a product a certain way and or say a product does a certain thing and then goes to the market and it doesn't really perform that way. I think starting off, you
Okay, we're having connection problem.
yeah, sorry. Yeah, I think starting off, you must be honest. So if you say your product does, 1, 2, 3, make sure it actually does 1, 2, 3, because there's certain times
Mm-hmm.
that um you could create a product, you can say a lot of things that it does, and you get that first rush of sales. But for you to be able to build a brand, for you to be able to build a brand that people would trust and come back to, you have to have that integrity. You have to be able to follow through with what you say your product is going to do, because you have to do not confuse a first rush or wave with sustainability, because you can get that rush, you can get that immediate sales, but what is going to keep your business afloat is getting that repeat business. And getting repeat
Mm-hmm.
business all comes to, as a service, you know you taking the time and effort to make sure your service is top notch. As a product,
Mm-hmm.
you making sure that whatever you said your product is going to do, it ties with that. If people actually are
Mm-hmm.
buying your product because I don't have hair. If people buying your product because you're telling them it's going to grow hair, let that
Mm-hmm.
product grow hair and they're going to come back. You see what I'm
You
saying?
see?
If it doesn't tie into that, then because whatever you put out there, people don't know you. People don't know your product. Whatever you put out there, that's what they tend to like, relate to. And
Mm-hmm.
if what you put out there is not true, then that's the brand the image you're giving them, because branding is nothing more but an image, that you've
Mm-hmm.
given them. So
Hmm. This is interesting. Now, you said it takes integrity. I have a question. Now, how do I connect my wanting to be somewhere? Let's take, for example, um, what example should I take now? You're doing a business, a product, and you're actually not living and you're not experiencing that thing at the moment, but you
yes.
know that it can work. Is there misintegrity in it, or one can say we can join the flow? What do you think?
Yeah, so no one is expecting you to be perfect, especially when you're starting off. No one is expecting you to come up with Nike quality. No one's
Mm,
expecting you to come up with Apple quality. You had
okay.
companies like Apple already existing. You had companies like Samsung already existing, but you had, other companies like, the phone company called Techno find a way to
Mhm,
get your product into the market, and they did well. But the time they were coming into the market, their product quality wasn't as good as Apple. Their product quality
mhm,
was never as good as Samsung. But
mhm,
what they advertised was what it was. And sometimes, people connect with you more when you are honest. Yes, my
yeah.
product this does this and this, but these are some of its limitations. We are working and we are planning to get here, but this is where we are right now. What you're buying is
Mhm,
what we this is where we are, and we plan on being here within the next projections. So I think if you do that, you can be able to connect with a fan base or a customer base that trusts you, and that will be there for you, there with you as you grow along.
Mhm. Okay, thank you so much. We have also viewers saying thank you. Oses was happy for you answered her question, and then we are having also Aji Blessing saying thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I really appreciate that you're all taking your time to listen to this conversation. Peter, thank you for taking your time to really share with us. And Peter is going to be one of the coaches during the master's class 2020, which is going to be from the 17th to the 22nd, and he's going to have the last Saturday, a whole day for himself, for you people. So you don't want to miss this kind of conversation and people who will give you insight knowledge. So make sure you register for the program that is coming up. And of course, that program is made with a lot of integrity. The people who are going to teach you are those, I say that often and often, have put their hands into the mud. They know what they are talking about. They have experiences and they're giving you real experiences backed up with science, backed up with your academics. Thank you so much, Peter. My next question to you. We are now hearing about social media, A, social media B, YouTube, Facebook, and all the social media platforms that ever existed. My question is, how useful is YouTube, Facebook, social media in general in acquiring more sales? Can we really make use of these systems to acquire more sales?
Yeah, yeah, we can. That's a very um, beautiful platform to be able to connect. I remember sales is about connecting with people. So that's a beautiful platform for you to be able to connect with clients and get more sales. And sometimes, something as simple as maybe talking about even before you start advertising on those platforms, find a way to create videos that maybe shows how to use your product, you know, even without you even trying to sell it. You have a new product and you just, explaining how to use it, or you explaining the problems that your product is going to solve. That starts gravitating or bringing people, more and more, getting more and more viewers, because sometimes when you're just advertising the product and you're just trying to sell the product, it's only so many people, so much people that are interested in listening to. But when you start talking about the problem that you're trying to solve, then you can connect. Or then people are like, oh wow, what is he talking about? Well, if I had the problem with like maybe acne or whatever, well, how do I fix it? And
Mhm,
you having those conversation, you can connect to a broader base and all of that. Now, most
mhm,
importantly, why we turn to why social media and YouTube and Facebook, it's so beautiful, is because of data analytics. There's so much that goes into these platforms, and you have what they call it. The different ways in which you can use to maybe understand your clients, because when you're using YouTube,
the
using Facebook,
statistics.
you can
Mhm,
the statistic, you can get the statistics on demographics and which people are actually interested in watching your videos, which people are actually interested in maybe looking at your product. And then based on the statistics, you start looking at if it's male, female, the age group, and stuff like that. Based on that information, you can know what group or what crowd is much more interested in your product, and then find a way to target them, because now we know, okay, the people interested in my product are males from the age of like maybe 18 to 25. So you can narrow your dollars or narrow your money to targeting that particular age group. It's a little bit easier than doing adverts that will cost you more to go from like 0 to 100. So it's
mhm,
much more target based, and um, that's another huge benefit that can help you, increase sales.
mhm. Well, thank you so much, Peter. If you had everything
Yes.
and you had the or everything it takes to really coach a young person, an entrepreneur coming up, or an organizer, organization leader, what would you tell them to do so that they can have much more money coming into their pockets. Because at the end of the day, business is all about money. So, in as much as
Yeah.
we want to impact, we want to do this. If you do not have money, you can't do the impactation. So, what would you tell an organizational leader or a young entrepreneur who is starting up their business?
You know, my philosophy with sales might be a little bit different from most people. You know, I believe with sales, whenever I go into sales, I'm thinking first, how can I solve a problem? How can I make this person's lives better? You know, whenever you take care of people, there's always a benefit that comes to it. You know, if you were
Mhm,
trying to, if you were thinking sales first, then you're thinking just money and you miss the point because you originally created this product to solve a problem. So
yes.
you should be thinking how can I change these people's life? How can I make an impact in these people's lives? So that reignites the passion you had with starting off before. Because when you
Mhm,
got into this, there was some energy in you, some joy in you that made you excited to want to go to creating this product or doing this thing. So
mhm,
whenever you're trying to sell, always think first, how is my product going to, make these people's lives better? And with that, by you explaining to them, they understanding that this person truly cares about us. This person truly wants to make our lives better, and they have no problem spending, money because at this point in time, they do trust you. And if you can
mhm,
do that, because there's sometimes you can do broad, marketing and all of that, and you're not connecting. Yes, you'll get a lot of sales, sometimes, volume at one time, but to create a business and to create that, have that money coming in and day out, some kind of steady, throughout the years, you have to have people that truly believe in you that can come back. You see what I'm saying?
mhm.
Like
Yes.
as a barber, if you
Yes.
someone can come and sit down and you give them a haircut, but if you don't spend
Mhm,
time, providing that extra service with them, they will have no
mhm.
reason to come back to you because there are thousands of other people that provide the same service. So
True.
it all comes down to finding a way to connect, finding a way to
Mhm,
create value, finding a way to articulate value, and that business will always come as long as you're patient and stick to providing something of value to them.
Thank you so much. So, all along, you have been talking about sales, and sales means that providing value to people. And then, when you win their trust, then they can stay and they can buy your product. Do you have anything else you want to tell the listeners? We are almost rounding up, and it's almost 1 hour now.
I think, the most important thing I can tell the listeners is whatever you're doing, whatever product you're doing, whatever service you're creating, you must first start by believing in yourself, because people can see that true. If you're doing a product and you're trying to articulate it and it seems like you don't even believe in it,
Mm,
it's going to scare a lot of people away. People are not even going to
that's
be
true.
interested in listening to you. And the
Mhm,
energy that comes with believing in yourself gives you
mhm,
some kind of confidence to know that no what you might not get big sales today, you might not get big sales tomorrow, but that
mhm.
confidence is what is going to keep you there day in and day out. There are a lot of
That is
people that do something today and it's not worked, and then somewhere along the line, 2, 3, 5, 6 months down the road, and people start believing, but that started
true.
because they started believing in themselves first. So I think
That's
that's the most
true.
important thing I would like to tell them today. Hmm.
Thank you so very much, Peter. And of course, Aggie is saying thank you, Peter, for the good answer. And I also want to thank all my listeners. Thank you, Peter, for being here. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been again our business conversation with the businessman of the week. And we are so grateful that you're taking your time to have this conversation with us. We are meeting again, same time next week with another business business person of the week. And this time it's going to be a woman. God bless you. And I have been your host, Vera Sompon. And today we have been talking on marketing and sales. Take care of yourself. And to then, God bless you.